Saxon Algebra 1, Lesson 45. Students, welcome today to the world of statistics. Statistics are familiar to anyone who's a sports fan because the world of sports is full of data about the players and how they're doing and the teams and how they're doing. And it's a great example of a discipline of mathematics that takes a lot of numbers and summarizes them in ways that help people find meaning in the numbers, right? If somebody sat down and told you how many, oh, never mind. I was trying to build a metaphor, but you know what? My brain's tired. In any case, we all know that there are things to keep track of, like Russell Wilson's completion ratio or Chris Carson's average yards per run, right? Those are all statistics. They just help us manage data and look at numbers in an aggregated way, combined, all right? We're going to review these four tools, statistical tools that are very commonly used, and you're going to learn how to measure them. And this is one of these topics that comes up every single year. John covers it in every single book, but he never really builds on it too much. So I want you to know it, but it's not like the world's most important thing. In order to do problems like this, you have to have a body of information. You have to have a set of data that you are trying to summarize. And so we're going to talk in this example about a shipment of cats. Well, it's a shipment of livestock, let me say that, of live animals. And in the shipment, there are 8 cats and 1 cow. All right, that's interesting. Take a minute to imagine that. Their weights in pounds are, and then John gives us a list, and I'm just going to copy them down. You do the same. And these are all, you could put commas between them, right? So, guess which one's the cow? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to find the range, the median, the mode, and the mean of each of these, of this shipment of cats. Okay, the range is a measure from the lowest, from the highest. You take the highest score and you subtract the lowest score, all right? So the highest score is 800 in this one, the heaviest one. The lowest animal, well, we have quite a few 2-pounders. So the range of these animals is 798, okay? That's helpful. That tells us there's quite a bit of difference in all of these animals, although it doesn't tell us much more than that. It doesn't tell us what's the average or anything like that. The median, okay, so there's the formula for finding the range, the highest to the lowest. The median means the score in the middle. Now, to find this, it's helpful if we put the data in order. And honestly, we should have done that in the very beginning. I forgot to. We always rewrite the scores in order, which is why no one does this by hand anymore. It's all done by computers, right? Well, 2 is our lowest score, and we have 4 of them. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Then we have 3 threes. Excuse me. 3s make me sneeze. And then we have a 4, and then we have good old 800 down there at the end. All right? So this is more useful to us. I'm going to squiggle this out so I don't accidentally look at that. So for the median, we literally find the number that's in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count in from both ends, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this is the middle. So the median of our data set is 3. Now, pretend we want to find the median score of just the cats. How would we do that? We count the outside and then we go in, but look what happens. We have an even number of data points, so there isn't one right in the middle, is there? So how do you find the median if you have even numbered items in your data? You average the middle two. So in this case, if we were trying to find the median score of just the cats, it would be 2.5 because that's halfway in between those two. Okay? The mode. The mode is the most popular or most repeated. All right? So in this case, well, let's see, we have 4 2s and 3 3s. So that means the most common, the most repeated score is 2. Okay? So that is our mode score. Now, mode is weird because let's pretend we have, if you had a bigger shipment, you could have 4 cats with another weight, and then you would have 2 modes. Let's pretend we got another shipment and there were 4 cats that weighed 6 pounds. They're big fighter cats. These are actually really scrawny cats, aren't they? Cats are bigger than this. You can have 2 modes, or if every single cat had a different weight, you can have no mode. Weird, right? But so mode is kind of an odd measurement. And then mean is such a mean score because all it is just another word, another name for the concept of finding the average. Okay? So we calculate the mean just like we calculate the average. We calculate. We add them up and then divide by the number of items. So this would be, let's see, let's add them. That's 8. That's 9. So we're up to 17, right? This much is 8. Plus 9 more is 17, and that's 21. So it would be 821 divided by 9 in all, right? And so, yeah, I'm just checking to make sure I added properly. 821 divided by 9. And when we divide that, let's see, 9 times 9 is 81. Go ahead and divide it yourself. I'll be quiet. Take it to 2 decimal places. So when we divide that out, we see that the average weight of the animals in the shipment was 91.22 pounds. Now this is a great example of how statistics can be misleading because there's actually nothing in this shipment. None of these animals are even close to 91 pounds, right? Most of them are much tinier, and then one is way huger. So the mean or average data point doesn't necessarily tell you anything very valuable about the data set that you're gathering, right? Nothing really shows you how crazy and skewed this is. This cow is an outlier, right? So that shows you both the strengths and the weaknesses of statistics. They're useful for helping us summarize the data, but sometimes they can be really misleading, all right? Which is why you have to always be careful when you're interpreting statistics because statistics don't lie, but sometimes they mislead. And people who are trying to argue can find a statistic for anything. So just in your life in general, be careful whenever you see statistics. Think carefully about what you're measuring and what it means because sometimes it can be misleading. There was nothing in our shipment that was close to 91 pounds, but that's the average weight of our animals. So be it, Jedi. Okay, let's try another example. 45.2. The scores on the test were, and then there's a bunch of scores. Find the range, median, mode, and mean of the tests. Okay, So the first step, arrange the data in order. This is another good reason why computers do this for us now, because it's kind of a pain. So I'm going to give them to you in order. 60, and I'm going to write it in 2 lines. Okay, 8 scores. They were the scores on the test. All right. And so we're supposed to find all 4 things. So first we start with the range. And for that one, we take the highest score and we subtract the lowest score. That is 35 points, okay? Helpful. Now we need the median. Okay, we can count our trick. That's the one in the middle. We can do our trick of counting in, right? There's the outside, the next, the next, the next, and we can see, oh, we have an even number. So we have to take an average of the 2 that are closest to the middle. So it's 83 plus 85 divided by 2. And we don't even need that. We can see 84 is the average, right? Because it's the one in between those. The mode. Which is the most popular score? Well, no, there's no repetition at all in these, right? The one that's most repeated is the mode. There's none that repeats, so we say there's no mode. Isn't that weird? Let me just double check my answers. 35, 84, no mode. And then the mean. I'll tell you what, this is when we really wish we had computers, or at least a calculator, because to add these up is a pain in the neck. So I'm going to save us the drama. It's 646, and then you would divide it by the number of objects. That's 8, and we can go ahead and do that. 646 divided by 8. I will be quiet and let you work. Take it to 2 decimal places. If you'd like a little more time to do the division, you can pause me. But there's the answer. So the mean or average test score of this group is 80.75. All right, and that leads us into our last problem, which is a spin on some problems we've already been doing. The mean of 5, maybe it's another class. The mean of 5 numbers is 10. 4 of the numbers are 2, 8, 11, and 14. Find the 5th number. Okay, the way I set this problem up is extremely important. Please copy what I'm doing. These are the 4 numbers that we know about. But there's a 5th number that goes here. And what we did was we added all those up and we got a total. We don't know what the 5th number is and we don't know what the total was. But we do know that someone took that total, divided it by 5, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's how many items there are. And when they divided it by 5, they got 10 as the mean. By arranging this information in this format, I can easily work backwards and fill in these blanks. Once I know what the average or mean was, I can multiply that by the number of items, and this is what had to be here, right? These items had to add up to 50 because 50 divided by 5 equals 10. That's how we calculated the mean or average. So if these added up to 50, and I know that these added up to what, 10, 11, 15, 35, right? This much adds up to 35. Then 50 minus 35 tells me that this number, the fifth number, had to be 15. That way, when we added it with those, we'd get a total of 50. We divide it by 5 and get 10. This is the way, this is the right answer. When I put the smiley face, that means I checked it against the book and it's correct. This is the way to format these problems so that you know how, so that you remember how the process works and then you can work backwards. It's the secret to success. These problems always confuse everybody. So trust me and just set up your problem this way. When you're taking your midterm, it's extremely important that you format your problem the way that I've showed you. All right? The way that your work looks matters a lot. It's very important that you show your work just the same way that I show my work in these lessons. That's the level of detail I want you to show, okay? Calculations can be off to the side, but they need to be clear so that I can follow those. Your answers need to be boxed so that I can clearly tell what your answers are. But I want you to think about that. I don't have a chance to see your homework other than your review problems. But I want you to really put effort into making your work neat and orderly so that I'll be able to see what you did when I'm grading your test and give you full points for how you're doing. All right, that's the end of lesson 45. Yay! 46 is fun. I'll see you there.